It's a KV-13 that's a bit fatter, but a tier lower.
So isn't the KV-13 a light tank?
No, it's a tier 7 medium that no one cares about
Oh
since it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
need
yeah,
anything.
yeah. It's that really weird medium one, isn't it? Isn't it got like a pretty crappy gun?
No, it has the same gun as T-43. It
I would argue
doesn't
that's
need
a pretty
anything.
crappy gun. So this is basically a tier 7 medium at tier 8 as a heavy.
Well,
Is that what you're telling me?
sort of. The KB-13 actually had a pretty good chassis. It's the IS chassis. The IS-1 chassis to be specific.
So if I bring up the two armor models, you get the same 120 and 100 mil. 120, 100 mil, but then this seems a little better, maybe.
It's skinnier. At least the whole is. I
Presumably.
think turret's pretty much the same.
Yeah, the whole tank's a bit skinnier. The 244 is fatter.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no worries, Gerald. You go
it's
play
it's
Star
a
Citizen while you lurk. I have
so
no idea.
it's pretty good when angled. For a tier 6 heavy tank, I mean the turret's not great, but the Russian turrets they're bouncing up stuff anyhow.
Oh, crap again. Alright, there we go. We do something like that. Yeah, I mean, the side armor works. Not so sure on the. You change that from a collision to. Is it live? No, okay, that's that really weird one. Visual. Yeah, that sort of sloped area at the front is under the turret. If you angle, is a super weak spot. You don't have to. From straight on, it's okay. It's pretty good, I'd actually say. Mostly bounce and ricochets.
Yeah,
The
it's only
moment
that
you try and side scrape,
middle front plate.
oof, those pen numbers suddenly get real high. So that's not what you'd call ideal. Right, so it's kind of a weak spot. There's other tanks that do that as well. Is that I can't remember what I'm thinking of. There's definitely other tanks that have that sort of thing. Let's. I mean, armor's going to be armor. It's a tier 6. No one's expecting much from tier 6 armor.
Except absolution.
Yeah, well,
Eh,
that's something that we'll talk about later because I'm about 99% positive that will get changed. So we go to
well,
DPM, look at tier 6 heavies. The
if
244
anything from
shy of 1900. So it ranks pretty highly on the tier 6 heavy DPM.
I
So
mean for it's using the medium tank gun, so
I'd be interested to see whether like we do get this or not. Like as is. Obviously we're gonna get it. They've announced that we're gonna get it, but like I feel like it might have its DPM dropped.
I suspect it be whatever our T-34-88 has, or not 88, 85 has.
I'm not sure. Quite possibly Chopper, with how long me and Zorin are known to natter on for. It's entirely plausible.
Let's see, our 85 has a DPM of 1800 with a reload of 6. What's the 80? See,
So theirs has a 5.7. The
yeah,
PC
and our
244 has a 5.7. So I could
yeah,
see it
so
keeping
it's
that. The heavy tank having a better DPM than the medium is something I can certainly see.
yeah here and there. But of course, I wouldn't say that's also not a half bad mobility in terms of a tank. Let's actually look at the mobility of the
I mean,
244.
42 kph, 14 reverse, 11.82 power to weight. That's not too bad. So if we change this to. Should have power to weight here somewhere. There we go. Update. Okay, it's about
And
halfway.
then,
It's halfway down. I mean, M6.
oh no,
AIL.
poor Tog.
Uh, I like that it literally has 10 less than the top of that. Like, that's pretty devastating, really, isn't it, for the poor old Tog?
One day we'll get a talk fairy, and then people run away.
But yeah,
I mean, its reverse speeds aren't bad for heavy for a Hulk 28 turret 26. So
it's not terrible. I mean, the top speed isn't bad. Like, as much as the power to weight isn't great, it's the top, yeah, it's top speed there. If you do it by top speed, is it second? The
um,
VK36 with its bizarre 50. I don't know
yeah,
what it would apply on
don't
console.
question. I want to say it's 48 because I remember something like that.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be up there. I mean, it's essentially as you say, it's a medium in a heavy body.
Or it's a Russian heavy, which tend to go fast. Is it the exact same hull? I want to say it's the exact same hull size as the IS.
I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Swapping back and forth.
So you're saying it's about the same as the IS?
Yeah.
So we're going to that. Yeah, Russian hover tanks. Wait, does it not show in this? I thought it used to show in this. Oh, whatever. Tech tree. Hey, Marky. Let's go to El Soviets. Oi, oi. Yeah, oi, oi, Savaloy. Let's quickly swap that
Um.
back to collision.
Yeah, the Object 244 might just be like a stock IS.
Yeah, that's relatively similar armor. I actually think the slopes on the 244 are a little sharper than the. I keep putting in live and I meant to go in visual. It's definitely similar though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's probably what I was thinking of when I was saying I'm sure there's another tank with this. Yeah, I mean it looks a little bit
Kind of
more
cheap weak
rounded,
spot.
maybe. Maybe it's a bit more rounded.
Yeah, the 244 is the new tier 6.
Yeah, that's yeah, what he said. It's one of the new reward tanks. I'd say the 244 might be a little more rounded than the IS. Looking at like from a little bit from above, not the same angle, but
Yeah.
it does look a little more rounded. It'll be fractional if anything, though.
Yeah. But if you run back and forth, especially, or if you reverse, I wonder how good this thing would be good at reverse side scraping.
Quite possibly. If I change that to collision. Uh,
Um, it'd be pretty good at reverse side scraping, outside the turret.
I
Because
mean, yeah,
it's got like this.
the turret's really weak. I think that's the only thing. This is going to be KV 220. I'm assuming you know what I mean by that.
Yeah. Um, one thing to know about this, it's got the same side armor as the T150, which is, yeah, it's pretty solid.
It's certainly, I mean, realistically, a lot of tanks, especially Russian tanks, work really well in reverse side scrape. For its tier, that's pretty impressive. I mean, this can reverse side scrape against tier 6s. Sorry, against tier 8s. The only thing, again, is that turret is just so weak.
And from the front, though, all you have to do is make sure they don't hit you directly.
I mean, good luck with that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's doable. It's certainly doable. Firing from this back angle, how? So yeah, you will have to keep it real tight though to keep the auto bounce angles.
Even if there's non-auto bounce angles, it's pretty thick still.
Yeah, but if you hit about what's that, about 30 degrees, if you can see there, which should appear in a second in the stream. especially if you aim right near the butt, you're getting 50% chance of pen, and that is with a round with 144 pen. So if I switch that to its APCR, yeah. So that's with 194 pen, which, considering this thing will be facing tier 8, it will see. You see, it's getting, on that nice armor, it's getting a lot of pens. But if you go it to about a 15 degree, maybe, it ricochets, and then real slim chance right at this end.
It's 90mm below the side armor.
Yeah, but I mean, if anyone's shooting that, good luck.
Tracks are so weird, and if they actually count as like one single hit, or is it just like tank CG being weird?
I don't know, maybe it's counting going through multiple treads. I have no idea. Could be tanks GG being weird. Oh wait,
That's
it could
always
be
been
the
a weird
gap.
thing.
Because the gap has
Yeah.
an equivalent. Doesn't that have? It's not got an armor value, but it sort of affects the shell, doesn't it?
Mm.
So it could be the gap. Anyway, I don't know. Hey, Lady Bismarck. I'd say something in Swedish, but my Swedish still isn't good enough. Also, I'm told
Say
it sounds
pizza.
pizza.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm told I sound quintessentially British while I'm trying to talk Swedish. So I think that can wait until I'm more proficient than a very drunk 2-year-old. So the only sentences that I ever got really comfortable saying were just absolute gobbledygook, purely meant to annoy the missus. They're just sentences that make no sense in the slightest. One of them was something like "Barnet smågus dricka hållpadden," or "hållpadde," something like that, which is like the child sandwich drinks the turtle. Makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. I am British, Lady Bismarck. I was born in North Manchester, but I'm not too northern. Do you know what, Chopper? It's funny you say that. I was actually sat in a caravan today. For a little bit, I was sat in a caravan talking selfies for a church group. Because that's reality, apparently. Oh, what a weird world we live in. But yeah, so that's the 244. I don't think there's much to say about this thing.
It'll be dandy.